Everything is so terrible and so sad, and no, the use case is just one side of the coin. Let's discuss that openly in the comments. I've also let my guard down. Well, what do you do on the last day of the year? Sure, a year in review, but what I really want is for you to learn something too. That's why we're talking today about my 3 fatal mistakes that may have cost me a lot of money this year. And what those are and how you can do better, you'll find out after the intro. Why am I making this video right now? Yes, I don't want to present myself as a typical German and say that everything is so terrible and everyone is so sad and no nonsense. What good is it if I talk about my great performances? Only by knowing mistakes can you avoid them. In this cosmos, so-called prophets, especially in a bull run, pop up claiming years of trading experience invested in Bitcoin and crypto and being multimillionaires. That's how it's sold. Only if you know the mistakes can you maybe avoid them. Because what I keep noticing out here in this cosmos is that there are these so-called prophets, especially during a bull run. They suddenly pop up like mushrooms claiming, oh, I have tons of trading experience and I'm heavily invested in Bitcoin and crypto and wow, I'm a multimillionaire. And yeah, that's how it's being sold at least. And then you look at the whole thing and think, oh, I must have missed something. But in the end, those are often just empty phrases being thrown around without any substance, without any real knowledge. And then you look at the whole thing and think, oh, I missed something. Yes, but in the end, these are often just empty phrases that are given without any substance, without any knowledge. And that's why I'm going to show you my 3 fatal mistakes today, because I made mistakes this year, I made even bigger mistakes last year, 2001, and I'll make the same mistakes next year. If the bottom line is that there is a void again, or a plus at the end, that is also completely fine. So, we can't all go through life without making mistakes, but that's just a general sermon for now. Now let's dive into what I specifically did wrong. And I'm going to try to present all of this in a somewhat structured way. So in the first factor, you can clearly say that greed won again, or rather, in this case, it wasn't even greed, rather the lack of information seeking. I can also definitely say, do your own research, because if you take a look at my portfolio, it has quite a few crater landscapes now. If you look at it, it was a steep, crazy ride up, but then came the reality check. And that was the end of the first altcoin season, if you will. So, it's always divided into several phases, and I've explained that a few times already. There are definitely a few positions in the portfolio where I think, why didn't I notice this sooner? And now I really have to pull this candidate out because it's really taken a hit. I held on to AIT protocol. I was in the plus, and then I just watched as the price started to drop again. What lesson can you take from this? In 2021, I'll show you a comparison of that in just a moment. You can be a lot smarter and say, okay, once I reach a certain profit level, whether that's 100% or 200%, I'll at least pull out my initial investment. That way you're not in the red anymore and you won't feel so tied to that position. And if the price keeps going up, hey, then just enjoy it and don't worry about it and say, yeah, but now I'm in it. And no, the thing is, if you keep all your investment in there, then you don't have any free capital to reinvest. Be aware of that. Definitely with AIT protocol, I can show you here. The price has really suffered, especially when you look at it from a monthly perspective. And what's additionally fatal here is that I know many YouTube colleagues who have reported on this multiple times, have said, yeah, okay, the price looks really unhealthy right now because it was already at its peak and then just kept going down. Yeah, it has recovered nicely, and many said, hey, this could be a guarantee, but there's no such thing. This might raise the price. I'm considering options, but I think it rebounds or it doesn't. One aspect is the application, the other is the investment-related token. Well, if you look at this, it looks pretty bad, honestly, and I'm even considering, but I'm more the type who says it's all or nothing. Either the chart comes back, or that's just it. In this case, it's really frustrating, because you could have seen the signs a bit, especially with AI. One aspect is the application, and the other is the token, which is more related to the investment side. You always need a mix between a use case that ensures the thing is held long-term and hype. Harsh as it sounds, but we need that in this market. And now, please take a look at the current moment where we find ourselves in a bull run. Yes, it may be a sideways movement, but we are in a bull run. Just take a look. The last post here. Okay, something came up 43 minutes ago, relatively uninformative, but that's all right. Then on the 2nd, December, something came in, then on the 26th. In November, something came in, then on the 18th of November, and then we're at the 4th. November? Okay, congratulations. So this project has put out about 4 posts on X in a month. That's nothing, folks. So if there aren't any really big, exciting news coming out, then things get thin. That's why I can only give you the advice to check this stuff out. But even if you're invested, I have to admit I could have done a lot more research on what's currently happening with the project instead of just leaving it alone. So the use case is just one side of the coin. I won't panic. I'm invested in 4 figures. Wait and hope to break even. I've realized some profit, so the loss isn't high. Learn, review your portfolio, and consider pulling out your initial investment. I did that, and this project, 42, was mentioned in Uptrend Trading on the 20th. The only positive thing I can say is that I've realized some positions while still in profit, so the loss isn't that high. But you can take this as a lesson. Take a look at your portfolio. And at a certain threshold, at least consider pulling out your initial investment. By the way, I did that, and this project, if you're wondering what 42 is, well, I already mentioned it in Uptrend Trading some time ago on the 20th of December. Yeah, so I already mentioned that in Uptrend Trading some time ago on the 20th. December, something like that, so you see where the 20th is. December. Well, you see what's going on here? So right now, we're talking about nearly 100% profit, and I can only tell you again, if you're not part of Uptrend Trading yet, you get free information, free coin tips. Of course, do your own research, but these tips are free. They might not work out, but they could. You also have market information about what's currently happening in the space and bonuses that I negotiate with exchanges and projects. So if you're not a member of the group yet, check the description. There's the link for it. Definitely, I did it like this yesterday. I pulled some out. Yeah, the price kept rising, but I got out with my initial investment, and that has the big advantage that I can now sit back and say that everything that happens from here on out is either plus or minus, but at least I don't have any losses in my wallet anymore. Let's move on to the next mistake, and that was clearly stupidity and clearly greed. This is a meme project, so alpha. I got in with a not exactly insignificant amount and quickly saw a 5-fold increase. And what did I do? Of course, nothing at all. I just watched as the price went back down. Right now, I'm actually incredibly in the red with my position, so I want to share that with you as well. I'm still holding because I still believe that what's happening down here could lead to a breakout upwards. There's a meme coin season, meaning if the meme coins really take off again. Just be aware that with meme coins, the faster it shoots up, the faster it can also come crashing down. And right now, I'm just asking myself the question, why? Just be aware that with meme coins, the faster it shoots up, the faster it can also come crashing down. And right now, I'm just asking myself the question, why? Why didn't I pull out my initial investment there? So it's the same game again, but with a different performance. Why didn't I pull out my initial investment there? So, same game again, but with a different performance. With AIT, it was less about the gear factor. It was more like the thing just works. Here it was clearly the gear because, of course, I was gambling. Well, what else is possible? Is there more? Is there more, you sand? So, anyone who is asking themselves this question today and saying that this will never happen to them, well, just wait until you are in that situation. That's why you should set yourself an exit strategy. For me, it was a void again, but that didn't really blow me away because at the end of the day, my portfolio is still well in the black. However, it would have been smarter, and I could have realized significantly different values if I had approached this more cleverly. I hope you've enjoyed the video up to this point. What I want to say again briefly is thank you for your trust. We've now successfully crossed the 8K subscribers mark. We're already over it. And if you look at the view counts on the videos, it's amazing what has come together so far. So, thank you so much for your trust. Thank you for your feedback and for all the comments that have come in. It means a lot to me. But I've also noticed that many people who watch the videos are still not subscribed. So if you want to, feel free to subscribe, activate the bell so you don't miss any important info. And if you really like this video, give it a thumbs up, leave a like. It should help boost the algorithm. And so we come to the last mistake, and technically it's not really a mistake. It's more about the fact that I could have turned my tokens into more tokens in a relatively simple way. Some of you might already know about Terrace. I've talked about it several times before. The performance of that chart is crazy. It has really established itself. Let me quickly show you this again in fast forward. So if you take a look at this chart, it's really nice. So there was a really strong development. I did this much earlier, so happy profits to everyone who invested early. I'm also doing really well with it. Definitely, what I haven't tracked at all is the fact that in 2021, you can definitely multiply your tokens here. And how does that work through staking? Well, I started that myself, and I find it interesting with TARS because now comes the big but. Staking is great. Staking only makes sense to a certain extent because if you, for example, I'm going to jump ahead to Solidus now, by the way. What do you think about staking? You just need to go to the official website and then browse through the tabs at the top, for example. Here's staking, and then you'll be redirected. And you can connect your wallet and provide your tokens to the project, essentially locking in your capital and earning rewards on it. Now, of course, the big question in this game is how big are the rewards that you can get? Now, you also have to consider how compounding works, etc. It's running, but there are still a few rules about it. However, one thing I would definitely take a look at is the logging time. Because here, for example, 90 days. So basically 3 months is quite a long time frame regarding when people are always predicting this altcoin season will actually start. You can do it, but you don't have to. By the way, here's a tip. I would consider not putting all your tokens into staking, but for example, just a certain portion. So as an example, I put 50% into staking and I leave 50% just sitting there, but the tokens are working for you and you essentially have a passive income this way. I've talked about this before. Feel free to click here for more on TARS. By the way, for anyone who wants to know more about Taurus, why this thing is exploding right now and what news is coming up, they're already talking about a possible Binance listing, and that's definitely plausible when you look at the development. It's a great combination of use case and hype. And so if anyone wants to know more, click here. The first project pack by Solana, if you will, is an AI project, of course. But if you take a look at this here, then you can, for example, start a staking for 30 days in a relaxed way. And I did that, for example, with a portion of the tokens. I would have liked to start several stakes, but they just add up. That's why I'm going to wait until this stake expires and then I'll add some more. But things like this can be incredibly exciting. It's also a bit of inflation, depending on how many people actually use it to that extent. But why not take advantage of this right before the altcoin season, when you can say, wow, now I really have a bunch of tokens and can realize some profits, because this way you logically reduce your average purchase price since you get more tokens out. Those were my 3 tips. Now I'm really curious, do you have any as well? So let's discuss this openly in the comments. I've also come clean and said what I did wrong. I would be super happy, so write in the comments what you might have done wrong. And by the way, if you want the discussion to continue and hear other voices from the community, there's also the Uptrend community group. Check the description, there's the link to it. In conclusion, I can only recommend that you check out this video. Super exciting, I can only recommend it. I'll see you. No, first I wish you a great start to the new year and we'll see each other tomorrow, so basically next year. In that sense, all the best. Bye.